Hello, water signs. This is Tanya Lee of Harmonia, and welcome to a water signs reading for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Typically, this is exclusive content only found over at Harmonia Friends. It is a paid membership, but there is a 1-month free trial. And if these resonate with you, there may be more messages on the other side with the all signs reading that this is part of. Okay. So we're going to be using a couple different decks here today. We have the Naughty Oracle, which I have to be a little bit careful with because of, well, they're naughty. And we're using the Cozy Witch deck and the Runic deck. And all of those decks can be found in the description box below if you like any of these. So let's see what the energy is going on here for our water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Spirit, what do our water signs need to know? Here we go. Water signs. There's an arsehole ancestor. Time for ancestral clearing. 2. So there's a blockage here, but I also feel like there's somebody here who's kind of a nuisance. So let's see what the Oracle deck has to say. It says, water signs, you have ancestral clearing to do, as your ancestors have well effed you over. You need to clear the patterns and karmic debt racked up by your ancestors and break the cycles of destruction and wounding so your children may be free. Do the work and future generations will be free because you are effing awesome and will do the bullshit work without needing acknowledgement. Find a good healer who can perform past life healing or ancestral clearing so that you can get these arsehole ideas off your back. All right. So, couple of things on here. I never believe that another healer can heal you. These are all inner things that you can do within yourself. But you still may need guidance here for some of that stuff when they mention those past life readings. But beyond that, I feel like even if you don't have children, there are some blockages here that you may put upon yourself as I need to clear. I want to break this chain. I'm meant to do this because my ancestors were not or weren't able to or didn't have the options that I did or do now. But I feel a lot of pressure to be this part. And this is just a story. Okay. This is just a story. I'm not saying that you don't have blockages not to clear. We all have blockages. But there is a story here that I feel that you feel responsible for clearing something here because another could not. Whether they're here or on another plane. Here we go. I'm telling you, cursed. We have the 10 of Swords here. Do you see what it says? Cursed. You feel like you got something cursed here. Hurt people. Witches hurt witches. I almost feel here water signs. I mean, it's a 10. So this is ending regardless. I think you're kind of done pretending to be cursed. I think you're kind of done of the victim mentality. This is an individual here who may feel like that, but that's an old story. This is something here that's like, I need to put this away. It's like, I'm not even going to put this in a box. Let me just pour this out the window. I don't want to carry this anymore. I don't want this responsibility. It's time to pack up and move on. Time to pack up and move on here with the 8 of Cups energy. If your life feels stale, explore new scenery. There is a movement going on here, water signs, but some of you are letting go of it being your responsibility too. Some of you have been emotionally stuck in some old school stories. You've been taught that you've been brought up on, the caveman have given to you. These are all belief systems here, okay? And I feel you struggle with this. Because there's a part of you that feels that you either failed at something or maybe you deserve this kind of treatment. And nobody deserves to be hurt. But there are reactions here that are people around you that may have hurt you. And instead of bottling it all up, and there's a bunch of bottles here, you see that. I feel this level here of a water sign going, what's the point of holding on to all this? Why would I continually just keep telling this to myself? I think you're just honestly, I think the title for my water signs is Sick of This Old Ancestral Story. So we're just going to say Sick of the Story is going to be the title. All right. I'm going to get a set up here for Cancer first. So give me a second. All right. We have Cancer up. Cancer is sick of the old story, is over it, is packing on up, is moving on, is leaving something that no longer emotionally serves them. Five of Wands, you're tired of playing the martyr. You're tired. Oh my God, you're done. I mean, we have the Five of Wands, the Hangman, and the Page of Swords. You're trying to be logical about this because this has left you burning at the stake for so long. All right. Very competitive, feeling like you're barking up a storm here just to prove why, like how good you are or like what it is. Like, I feel like you feel 100% a victim. I'm not saying that what the stuff that didn't happen to you wasn't bad, because I do feel like there's a lot of situations here where you feel like you're burned at the stake. And it's like, I always have this shit happen to me. How many more times, like I'm over being on the stake. I'm over with this sign here of Isa, which is being frozen. All right. This is someone here with the Hangman who's usually someone here who sacrificed themselves to gain a new perception is like, I'm done with that perception. I'm getting the F out of there. All right. You're doing a backflip. This is always a funny card to me for this Hangman because I never seen it as well, Vikings on skis. I don't even know if that's a thing, but like with the dual weaponry and the idea of doing a backflip here, I feel like you're tired of doing backflips to prove how good you are or that you deserve more. It's kind of like I got to start from square one. I got to be a little bit more, you know, when I think of pages, I do think of optimism because I think of the Fool, you know. But the Page of Swords is someone here who evaluates, who becomes the student, is holding that sword, is being authentic, but is like, I got to see what is authentically me and not what I'm trying to prove to other people that I'm a good person or I am on their side. I feel like you fight a lot with individuals to prove your point. And you're kind of over that. And it's interesting because there's a couple of different runes here, but the one that's really pulling out here and it's kind of dueled here is Manaz. And I feel like there is an interdependence that you were trying to be more aligned in your masculine and feminine energy. And a lot of your belief systems here are being reevaluated or you're learning new things. And it's like, this is such an old school belief system for this Cancer that they're like, no, I don't want to be that anymore. So I feel like Cancer, you are definitely letting an old story go. And you are trying to find a new truth where it makes you feel more authentic of what is more aligned to you. Okay. I think, you know, especially if this is like being okay on your own, being single for some of you. Others of it, it's like, okay, being okay with learning a new field and maybe not sticking to something here that you felt like was so competitive, or going back to school for some of you. What advice does Spirit have for Cancer who may resonate with this? Going back to school, and it's the library here, and it's always this card just reminds me of school. All right, we have the Three of Swords here. It's okay to cry. It is, because you're releasing this. But I feel like the book of this is closed. It's a sad book, but you don't have to keep checking it back out. All right. There's one book that you're definitely taking, which is your heartbreak. And I feel that this is something that is a scar that is allowing you to expand. You're never going to forget that that didn't have a part or place in your life, but you're not going to sit here and wait for that to be continually to be reread, that story. No. We have the Queen of Cups. There you are. Honoring your emotions is one of the highest forms of self-care. All right. You're very intuitive. You're very loving. You're very compassionate. And some of you are learning a new field in whatever it is that you maybe have felt that you have failed at. And it's like, maybe I try a different approach. Maybe I have to try this from square one, but as though that I am the brand new student and I don't know it all. All right. Because this is the energy of I know it all. I've been through this before. It always happens to me. But this one is like, I don't always know what's best. And that's okay. But I can still be very compassionate that I played this part. Okay. So you're not playing victim anymore. This is somebody here who is really looking out in the horizon and loving themselves. So I see a very big self-care journey here for Cancer. Nothing here really about going into another relationship or another job field. I feel for some of you, you're just learning to be okay in the present moment and look at things with a new point of view without having to retell the story, because this book has been closed. And it's like, yeah, it was a sad book, but I don't have to keep reading it. All right. That's what I have for Cancer. Let's move on to Scorpio. All right. Let's see what's going on for Scorpio. Scorpio is up next. Here we go. Scorpio. Page of Cups reversed. The Tower. Well, you dodged a bullet. You were able to break through something. This is someone here who had an opportunity to do the same pattern over and over again and said, no, thank you. I'm not going to do it this way. No, thanks. I don't want this. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean it doesn't affect others. With the Tower, even though, and I always see the Tower reverse as not a direct hit, it doesn't mean that doesn't happen, because it's shocking. Because I feel like your ability to say, I'm not going to do it this way, is actually going to light you up. It's also going to burn things around you, relationships around you that no longer serve you. It's all going to you're going to see kind of like a domino effect here. Okay. I just feel like something here is going to be entirely burned out here for you. All right. Now with the Tower energy, we do have it facing here, the 10 of Cups here, which is family. I do feel that now family doesn't always come in just, who we're related to. All right. This could be your ancestor sitting on the sitting at the table here, being really excited that you were able to pass this test. But I see this more on this plane. I feel like there are individuals here that no longer served you, and you felt so out of place, and there's this compassion on you where you've taken this rejection to look at it that, hey, I realize people hurt people, but I don't always have to accept apologies in a sense that they mean they have to come back in my life. I have a Scorpio here who's really owning up to their emotions, is capable here of communicating that. We have on Zeus here, along with radio, which is kind of a double binding here in these runes. So to me, I feel like you're gaining a new perspective on how you move, on how you state yourself, how you clearly claim your boundaries, okay, and opportunities. And some opportunities where you felt obligated to do before or show up before, you're realizing it doesn't serve you. And so this is for Scorpio here who does have a more fair round, and it's even though it's not a round table, I feel like there's individuals around you who are way more aligned for you. And if this hasn't happened and you're right in this precipice, it's going to happen. All right? You're creating that. Eight of Wands. Seven of Wands. And you know what's interesting? All of these haters, all of these individuals who are going to be and they will be, because this is how it felt like, pointing the fingers at you. Be prepared, because this Scorpio has a group of witches, okay, or bitches, or family members here, all right, that actually would defend you. Light a fire underneath your cauldron and go, go, go. Witches should hold other witches accountable. You've already held your spot accountable on what you have done. But you don't have to keep accepting apologies and people who are abusive to you when you know they're going to continually do that. And you have family members or friends, community, or you will have community that will stick up for you, who will be there, who will put you on check as well, but will also put others in check. And I feel this energy of this is what's happening. I do. I actually, and I'm not saying that you're going to go egg somebody's house, because I don't condone that. Nope, that didn't come from me. But I do feel that any kind of retaliation or something that comes back, you're not going to do a damn thing, because you got enough people here who are going to be there to support you. It's kind of like when you're not in a room and people talk about you, and it's like, don't you freaking talk about my Scorpio that way. There's a multitudes of people here who are like, oh, I know where you are. I can come in. I know exactly where you are, but you're not going to do that. You have to play your part too. All right. This is a group who's holding somebody accountable for. Okay. And there is a relationship that is being annihilated, but I really feel like the tables have turned. I feel like another person here is going to start feeling this energy of what have I done? But you've already done this part of it. You've already been able to emotionally leave this, but you're not blaming this person either. You understand that the count really comes in both ways, and I feel this energy here of just not being fully supported, but now you will be, or you will be soon. That's what I have for Scorpio. Let's move on to Pisces. All right, Pisces. Here we go. Let's see what's going on for Pisces, who's sick of their old story. Uh-oh. You're in the feels right now. Oh my God. They're all reversed, but here's the thing. You know you have to let this go. This, and I do feel like a victim, but I also feel like you deserve this blame. This is for a Pisces here who's like, I'm the one to blame. I'm feeling like I should have done things differently. I went against my intuition. It's no secret that you went against your intuition on something, but I feel a lot of guilt and shame about past actions that you may have taken. And it could have been to hurt another, but remember, hurt people. But I feel more in this energy of like, I'm so ashamed of myself. Like I said, it could be the other spectrum too, where you feel so ashamed for falling for some bullshit, or staying into something too long, or doing something a specific way. But I do feel very up and down in my emotions. When I see the Queen of Cups reversed, and that is your energy, somebody here is really struggling to be aligned, or could be going through a massive depression. And I feel that it may be like coming out in spurts where you're okay for a little bit, Pisces, and then like you break down, you're like, what is wrong with me? Why am I crying right now? Okay. But again, you're sick of your old story. And I feel strongly here, the part of the story that you're sick of is the heritage energy here. And I do feel like that with Othello here. I feel like you've had a lot of responsibility on you to be a specific part. And this Pisces here feels like they messed up or they did not do something that was very heroic. We have Ingaz here, and I always see that as the hero symbol. This is an individual here who goes, I'm really not that great. I almost feel like an imposter syndrome, which I don't really like that feeling for you, because you do have power, you do have light, and you're not always going to be the hero in everybody's story. I think that's the issue, is that you can't be a hero in this story. And you feel ashamed by this. You know, you can't be in control of how others perceive you. There's sometimes, even though you may have been misjudged or someone looks upon you as bad, sometimes you just got to be the villain, you know, and accept it for what it is. But what advice does Spirit have for you for Pisces going through this? No reversals. I'm sorry, my phone keep getting phone calls. So I apologize. We have the Magician here. You have everything you need to do anything you want. Okay. You're an amazing manifester. You have the ability here to manifest new things and look at it with optimism. As above, so below. 7 of Cups. You have a lot of options and opportunities here, but the big thing for you is choosing the next option with a clean slate, as though, ooh, let me see if this is something that will actually be good for me, versus, oh my God, that's going to be horrible, or that might bite me, or like that may be the worst thing that I ever do. Okay. Like I feel you fear the worst case scenarios a lot. And the universe is saying, be more optimistic about whatever you choose, and know that you have ability here to manifest big things. And yeah, you also have the ability here to manifest some pretty terrible things. But I feel that this terrible story, of whatever the story is you are telling yourself, is judgment placed upon externally on you that you have no control over. And some of you are just internally taking that as you're a bad person. No, you're not. This is just an opportunity here to try again and try a different approach and do something here that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end all. Okay. And some of you, if you feel that you weren't able to give an apology, or you feel you did something awful, you can still do apologies and not necessarily be, if you don't have contact with that person, you can still energetically be tied to them. So even journaling or writing something to this individual doesn't necessarily mean you have to send it, would be very clearing for you, because you would be honoring the version of you that's taking accountability. So just some things to think about when you're looking at that. All right, guys, that's what I have for our water signs today. I hope you guys enjoyed these readings. Like I said, if any of these resonated for you, go ahead and hit like, let me know. Or there may be more messages on the other side at Harmonia Friends on the All Signs reading that this is a part of. But if not, you guys take care.